right, we are on record for a review in this file. May I have the names of our participants, please?
Lee Heiss, lawyer, guardian ad litem.
Nastasia Thomas. Wait one moment. Nastasia Thomas, counsel for the department. Ms. Bosher.
Hunter Bosher, foster care worker with Catholic Charities.
Brian Fry, attorney for Erica Allen.
Erica Allen.
Michael McFarland, representing father.
Andrew Zick, father.
Thank you. Welcome. Ms. Heiss.
Thank you. I have visited with the children face to face. All of their needs are being met. I think the whole family has progressed. Read all the investigation reports that the experts have sent us all about Dad's visits and all the skills he's been working on. And I agree with the recommendation that we should expand some visits with Mom towards reunification. And we will for sure rely on the family to let us know if any of these kids dysregulate with that change. I did notice that Dad and his mom are expecting Mother to be consistent with the discipline they've put in place and boundaries and rules and that kind of stuff. So we have to watch this review period to make sure that both parents are consistent for the benefit of the kids. And the kids are just really thriving. And grandparents who are placement are willing to continue to support the kids in an incredible way. So I agree with the recommendation and would ask for a 90-day review.
Thank you. All right, testimony, Ms. Thomas.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll ask Mr. Andrew Zick to be sworn in.
And Mr.
Okay, please, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Zick.
How we doing?
Good. Did you have the opportunity to read the court report?
I have not, no. I got like 3 emails in my email box right now, and none of them are from, I got it. I did get it, but my email, I messed it up. I deleted it on accident, I guess, along with everything else.
So currently, how do you feel things have gone for you towards the goal of reunification with your children in the last review period?
I mean, I think things have went well as far as me with my kids. As far as the Catholic Charities goes, I mean, that's a whole different, has a whole different opinion, but I mean, I guess at this point, it really doesn't matter. When you said a whole different issue with Catholic Charities, are you unable to contact your caseworker, or is there something going on there? I mean, it's to the point now where, I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, as far as, I mean, I've been lied to from the get from everybody about whether this is a race or not. I mean, at this point, we're almost a year in and I'm still on supervised visits. So, I mean, that should speak volumes right there. I mean, I don't even want to get into it, really. I mean, I could sit here and go on and on. I mean, we're 6-9 months into it. The kid's attorney don't even know who Karen is. I mean, it's people open the file the week before we go to court and try to show face, and there we are. So that's my opinion on it.
Okay. During this review period, you have been doing some parenting education, correct?
I've been doing that since last 2, actually, 16 weeks. I've been, my last one's Monday. Yep.
Okay. And did you find that service helpful?
Yeah, very helpful, actually. The lessons, though, kind of common sense and self-explanatory, you know, I guess getting the lessons and reading them and going over them with somebody, you know, sheds a different light on it. And, you know, being the situation that we're in, you know, kind of makes you open your eyes and look at things and think about it a little more and maybe think about before you act, you know, a little bit. So, yeah, that's probably been the most helpful thing throughout this whole process was that 16-week program and the domestic violence counseling with John Bailey.
With John Bailey, were you able to complete that program?
Well, in my treatment plan from you guys, there's no length of time on there for what I had to do as far as lengthwise, but I mean, I still got a few classes to finish up for probation, but you know, that's me and probation's to worry about.
One of the elements of your case service plan that looks like it has not been completed is going to community mental health to do an intake for substance abuse. Have you been able to do that? Since the-
No, I'm not.
Okay.
No, I'm not doing that.
Do you know that that's part of your case service plan?
Yup.
Okay. Do you know that your court ordered into your case service plan?
Okay, I guess I didn't complete it then, I guess.
No, that's okay. I'm sincerely asking if you understand that the case service plan is part of a court order.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I sorry, I couldn't get to it, I guess. I don't.
Today, the agency is asking the court to reunify the children with Miss Allen. How would you describe your ability to parent or co-parent or parallel parent with her?
Very good, I guess. I mean, I've been trying to do it for the last year and a half, so, I mean.
And your housing, does that continue to be pretty stable for yourself?
Yeah.
And is there anything that Ms. Bosher could help you with to get started on some of those outstanding elements of your case service plan?
I mean, at this point, I don't really think so. I mean, we've had meetings that got portrayed that I blew up on everybody, and I mean, I could have had my brother in here, but you know, when you go in to have a little meeting with a supervisor and they're talking about this has nothing to do with probation, but then you base my plan on what I have to do for probation, and I got a caseworker tell me what the judge is going to be mad at me for and what because of what I'm doing. It has nothing to do with them, and you know, this isn't supposed to be a race, but then all of a sudden, before we go to court last time, it is a race, come to find out. And I mean, when you got a 52-week program and the other parent's done in 3 months with their programs, I mean, it's a race. Well, I mean, I can't win with a 52-week long program. So, I mean, it's a race. Whoever gets done first, they get the kids back, and then it goes to the most recent order in circuit court now is what I'm being told. So.
Okay. Right. With that, Your Honor, I have no further questions for Mr. Zak. Thank you.
Questions, Mr. McFarland?
Yes. It sounds as though what we're hearing is that you would like to have unsupervised parenting time immediately, correct?
Yeah.
Has anybody ever expressed any concern that you appeared to be high during any parenting time in this last period?
Man, I haven't gotten one bad review, period.
Exactly. And this is your opportunity to let the court know, because we don't know exactly what you're thinking. Is there something that you want to say about the performance? I know there is something you want to say about the performance of Catholic Charities. This is your opportunity to do so. Do you wish to do so?
I mean, at this point, no, I just want this to be over with and, you know, hopefully never be in this again, and, you know, just pray for the kids that are in the system with Catholic Charities. That's all.
Is there anything that we can do to assist you that you're not receiving?
No, not at this point. I mean, I've been in there, said, you know, talking about $100 a week's too, it's too much for me now. The first 90 days I'm spot on. Every drug test, every this, it didn't get me nowhere. And the other parents going to unsupervised visits after the first 90-day review, I was right there with her and made everything, and it didn't get me nowhere. So I mean, at that point, and next one was sick and missed a couple drops, but I mean, past 25 of them, I mean, I've been stuck in the mud with these people no matter what I've done from the get. So at this point, I mean, I thought we were coming in here to be done with this, with probate. But, I mean, I didn't know we were discussing supervised or unsupervised visits at this time. I mean, should already be long past that, past supervised visit a long time ago.
You support the children being returned to their mother and closure of this case.
100%.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Questions, Mr. Fry?
No questions.
Ms. Heiss?
You also have is there an active custody case besides this case?
No,
You're not aware of
I
custody?
don't have kids with anybody else, so what kind of custody case would I
I mean,
have?
with these kids, but not the abuse and neglect case, isn't there a custody case?
Yeah, circuit court, yep.
Yeah, and in that case, so when this case closes, that case will rule and help you guys go on. In that case, mother has physical custody?
We just came to that agreement, yeah, as of, before the last court date, yeah, I had 100% parenting time, but yes, we made an agreement for last court date that should have a new order put in place for circuit court.
Is that new order in place now?
It should, yeah, we just went to court on the 22nd, I believe, for.
Okay. Okay, and then, all right, I have nothing further, thank you.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
You may return to your seat. Thank you for your
Thank
testimony.
you.
I think I did sign that order recently. Did you get that? Yes, okay. The custody case order has been signed.
Thank you. I'd like to review it if anybody has a minute.
I have a copy.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. All right, your next witness, Ms. Thomas.
I'll briefly ask, I would ask that Ms. Erica Allen be sworn in for a brief testimony.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Ms. Allen, did you have the opportunity to review this court report?
Yes, I did.
Are there any issues that you have with it that may not be accurate to you?
No, everything looks fine.
And during this review period, you've had increased parenting time, is that correct?
Yes.
And how do you feel that's going?
It's going really good. The kids always want to stay longer and stuff like that. So it definitely has been going great.
And are you also ready for them to be reunified with you?
Yes, I am.
And it seems like your case service plan is complete. Is that accurate to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
And if the court, whenever the court sort of releases jurisdiction, are you planning to continue your individual counseling?
Yes.
Is there anything else you'd like the court to know?
No.
Well, with that, Your Honor, I have no further questions of Ms. Allen.
Questions, Mr. Fry?
How you doing today, Miss Allen? Good. So, since the last court date, were you discharged from your probation with district court?
Yes.
Okay, was that a successful discharge?
Yes.
And that was for what, retail fraud or something?
It was for larceny,
Okay. Under $200?
I believe.
Okay. So you completed that? Okay. Are you still engaged in your counseling?
Yes.
Okay, how often do you go to that?
Weekly.
Okay. Have you missed any appointments?
No.
Okay. And did you complete your domestic violence class?
Yes, I did.
Okay, was that a while ago?
Yes.
Okay, you also completed your anger management class?
Yes.
Did you complete your parenting education class?
Yes.
Is there any part of your case service plan that you haven't completed yet?
No, nothing I'm aware of. I've completed everything.
Okay. How have your visits with your children went?
Been going very good.
Okay, have there been any problems?
No.
Okay. And do you have stable housing?
Yes.
Okay. And is that the same
Yes, it's the same.
house that you lived in last time?
Yes.
Okay. And are the kids comfortable there?
Yes, they are.
Do they have rooms?
Yes, they do.
Okay. And I think you've been exercising overnights, right?
Yes, I have them.
Okay. And have you had issues during those overnight
No.
visits? Okay. Are you ready to be reunified with your children?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And would you be able to handle more parenting time than you're getting right now?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Now, right now they're with their grandparents, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And have they been helpful with you?
Yes, very helpful. They will do anything I ask. They're very great grandparents.
Do you, and I think they're Mr. Zick's parents, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Will you continue to work with them?
Oh,
if needed?
yes. Yeah.
Okay, will they continue to be involved in the?
Oh, yeah,
children's
they
lives?
always will be. Yeah.
Okay. And they were before this started as
Oh,
well?
yes, yes.
Okay. Have you been able to get the kids to school during your parenting time?
Usually, yes, I can bring them to school. Sometimes when I can pick them up, it just depends on my work schedule.
Well, if you couldn't do it personally, you're able to arrange for that
Oh,
to occur?
yes, yes,
And is it the summer break now?
yes.
Okay. There was a custody order entered in circuit court, is that right?
Yes,
Okay, and that ordered you physical custody
yes,
and a set parenting time schedule, is that right?
yes,
And I think currently Mr. Zick's parenting time is supervised in that case as well.
yes.
Is there anything more that services that could be provided to help you with your children?
No,
I'm nothing further.
All right, questions, Ms. Heiss?
No questions, thank you.
Are you on any medications associated with some of the diagnoses that were identified, like the,
yes.
okay. And who provides those for you?
My psychiatrist.
Do you know the name? Is it like your primary doctor?
No, she works at Adrian Counseling.
Okay. We refer to that as ACPC sometimes?
Yes.
All right, and I don't have an update from that particular provider, but have you been consistently going to those med reviews? Are you doing okay with the meds that they've got you on?
Yes,
Do you find that those have been helpful to you?
yes.
Okay. Have you had trouble maintaining medication schedules in the past?
No. Once I get on it, then I just stay on it. So.
Are you committed to making sure that you stick to that schedule and routine?
Yes.
Any questions based on my questions?
None.
Sorry,
No,
Honor.
no.
All right, thank you for your testimony. We return to your seat. Anyone else would like us to hear from Ms. Thomas?
Ms. Bosher, please. Good afternoon, Ms. Bosher. Court report that you provided today, are there any, for today's hearing, sorry, are there any updates or modifications that you're aware of that need to be made to it?
Yes, I have 3.
Okay, go ahead.
The first one is Erica Allen's med reviews. I spoke to her doctor. The dates that she has attended was on 3/25, 4/15, 4/22, and 5/20. So she has been going in consistently with that. For Andy Zick, parenting education, I was also able to speak to a supportive visitation coach. Next week is his last week of that. He successfully completed 16 out of 16. She didn't state any concerns or needs, so that's been going great from what I've heard. And then also domestic violence. John Bailey reached out again for the end of the month of May, just stating that it's been over a month that he hasn't heard from Andy Zick. That's all.
Thank you for that. as it relates to dad's parenting time, can you explain the need for the supervised parenting time?
Yeah, I just think it's essentially the lack and benefit of participating in services. And also drug screening has become an issue. The last drug screen I have is from 4 or 5. I haven't, and that's when I went to his house and drug screened him. There's been just little participation.
Other than the lack of, I guess, engagement with and benefit from his case service plan in that regard, were there any other, you said parenting ed did not, or the supportive visitation did not have any concerns? Are there any other concerns regarding his parenting that you're aware of?
No, not parenting skill wise, no.
Okay. And do you have any concerns that he's actively using?
I have no proof or evidence, but just the non-active in the drug screening, that's all I have.
At the last hearing, the court wanted just more information on mom's commitment to the mental health services, which the judge just asked her about. And you were able to confirm that. And then with dad, the judge had indicated wanting to see him engaged with CMH services, which was supported by his psychological evaluation to maintain recovery, all of that type of stuff. Did you discuss that with him after our last hearing?
Yeah, so I think I discussed it on April 5th. We had a meeting at his house with him. I said it was very important, he should go. He said he would work on it. At that point, he said he had a hurt knee and that was slowing him down a bit. But since then, there's been nothing.
To the best of your knowledge, what would parenting time look like if the children are returned to Miss Allen? What would parenting time look like for Mr. Zick?
I think currently, right now, we could keep the same supervised schedule. And then I'm also asking for a 30-day review period. So maybe towards that 30-day review period, if all goes well with the supportive visitation coach, then I would support unsupervised as well.
Okay. Wonderful. And your request today is for the court to return the children home and then to get FRP in place. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. And are you, I know sometimes there's like a waiting period for FRP. Is a spot available right now?
I know Jamie Dillon did reach out not too long ago saying there was a couple spots. I haven't looked into it yet, but not sure.
Okay. And as it relates to the kids, is there any other update you want to give the court other than what's in the court report?
No, one update I could give, it was recommended in their CTACs that a certain handbook was given to the placement for their training and education, for their knowledge that was given to them. I'm pretty sure on 3/19, but that's it.
Okay. Great, thank you. I have no further questions of this witness, Your Honor, and would move to admit the court report with the attachments.
No objection.
No objection.
Well, I guess we had a sidebar regarding one attachment that was not going to be attached.
Yes, Your Honor.
On that.
I'm sorry, Judge.
Sorry.
I just wondered if Mr. McFarland was maintaining his objection that he raised during our sidebar.
I am, Your Honor. Redacted copy should be submitted to the court nor the parties.
So the only redaction I saw in the court report, and I just want to confirm that we're on the same page, if you will, is the email exchange between Ms. Bosher and Mr. Bailey. Looks like there's, let's see. That's on the first page. That, well, I guess it's only a one-page attachment. Is that the only page?
It is, but I received a copy of the court report that my client would have received, and that was redacted all over the place. So I think he really needs to be sent a new one that's not redacted so he can read it.
Do you have a copy that's unredacted?
Not that's unredacted, I have a redacted copy.
Only? You don't have an unredacted?
Let me
copy?
take a quick look, Your Honor, here. With looking at his, we jump back.
I happen to have both if it matters.
I may very well have both.
Well, we can solve this pretty quick. Debbie Ames, did you make a copy of this for, Mr. Zig, please?
One copy, Your Honor.
I believe so.
You know, the only thing I'm wondering is if domestic violence is involved and if I know that it's been involved in the past, but is there a reason for these redactions? Even though I may be overruled anyway.
To my knowledge, no contact order was still in place.
So which pieces in your judgment did you leave out because of that concern?
Andy didn't receive like Erica's progressions, and then Erica did not receive Andy's progressions. That's the only ones.
Okay, yeah, that's not really a reason for reaction. It's only if there's a risk of harm, but they're allowed to see what the other one's doing. It's relevant for their purposes. So,
I do have an unredacted copy, Your Honor.
okay. Well, we're getting you on this other one. Did you need a copy too, Ms. Allen?
No.
Okay. All right. So we're leaving off the letter from Mr. Bailey, but you'll get the everything else, and I'll receive the court report and all the other exhibits, and that will become part of our court file. Questions, Mr. McFarland?
Yes. You would agree with my client's testimony that there's no evidence at his, as far as reports to you, that he's high when he's exercising this visit, correct?
Correct.
And how long he's been having visits? I mean, I guess within his last, we're going from period to period. In his last period, there's been no issues, right?
Correct.
So what's the real need for a drug test?
That he's had a very substantial long history of substance abuse.
He's on probation, correct?
Correct.
Isn't he testing through probation?
No, he's not.
You asked his probation officer why they feel that he doesn't need to?
I think it was essentially they agreed if they would test them, then they would send me the results. If we tested them, we would send them the results.
But you've not reached out to them with any concern, correct? That he's not testing?
Yeah, yes, I have. Not this reporting period, but I believe it's the last one. He was almost having a probation violation due to his missing screens with them.
Okay, I thought he didn't have to take screens with them if he was ordered to take screens here. I guess I'm confused.
That was effective 4/1, yes, with us.
Oh. Would the supervisor be if requesting supervised training for my client if the kids are returned to mothers? For my client, who would the supervisor be?
I would be acceptable with his parents, as they have been, and his girlfriend, Lindsay Elkins, has been approved as a support person too.
So you trust the observations of his parents, correct? You also believe that if they saw him high, they would report that to you, correct?
Correct.
They've not reported him high to you in any of the periods, correct?
Correct.
So you are recommending he have unsupervised appearance upon the completion of what? You were asked by,
If there's substantial progression made in this next month, if we do get granted the 30-day review period.
what are you looking at as far as substantial progress for him so he knows what that means?
Participation in his case service plan.
And can you give us a priority of what you're looking at so he knows for parenting time, unsupervised, this is what I'm prioritizing?
His domestic violence courses, his drug screens.
Further?
Mr. Okay.
Good evening today, Ms. Basher.
Good, how are you?
Good. So, how has Erica Allen done this reporting period?
There's been no concerns, everything's going fine.
Okay. Has she completed her case service plan?
Yes,
Okay. And does she continue to engage in her counseling?
yes,
Okay. Does she continue to engage with her med reviews?
yes,
Okay. As far as you're aware, is she taking her medication
yes.
as prescribed? Okay. And how have her visits went with the children?
They've been fine. I tried asking the kids, they're at that age where if you ask them anything, they're like, oh, it's good. I don't want to talk about this, so to my
Yeah.
knowledge, they're going great.
So they had no complaints?
No complaints.
Okay. And do you have any concerns with Erica Allen at this time?
No, no concerns.
Okay. And are you recommending the children be reunified with Erica Allen at this point?
That is correct.
Okay. So is it your recommendation that the kids go back to living with Erica then?
Yes.
Okay. And is there anything else that Erica can do, or has she done everything that you would have asked of her?
She's doing everything that we ask of her. Just continuing with her therapy. Her therapist was able to buy that book that was recommended. Continue working through that. Hasn't been an issue, hasn't came up. But yeah,
And how has Erica's compliance been?
very good.
With-
No concerns. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And has she, in dealing with you, has Erica been appropriate?
Yes,
And she has stable housing?
correct,
Okay, and that's an appropriate place for the kids to be?
correct.
So then is your proposed, or what you're asking for then, that the kids would, be reunified with Erica and Mr. Zick would still get his current court order time?
Correct,
And that be supervised? Is that my understanding?
correct.
Okay, nothing further.
That's nice.
I didn't notice in the court report, and I probably missed it, when did Lindsay get approved as a supervisor?
I don't think I have that exact date. It was within this recording period. We did get that packet done for clearances and everything.
Has she done supervising then?
Yeah, on weekends to my knowledge, which is not really an aspect that I report on essentially in our system, but Karen's let me know that they've been fine, so.
So Karen is there when Lindsay's there?
No, just when they pick them up, the kids up.
Okay, so, how many of those visits has there been?
I'm not sure. A positive on that, no.
So not the number, but he's had weekends from like Friday to Sunday supervised by Lindsay?
Not overnights, no.
No, not overnight.
No, just the day visits still supervised by Lindsay. And it's been mostly happening on his weekends.
Okay. Oh, yeah, because he has like Saturday, from one time to another time, if it's his weekend, is that how it goes?
Yeah, the allotted weekend, Saturday, and then if nothing happens, Karen and them are pretty flexible, supervising extra.
Did mom, okay, so, have you seen not in this case, but in the custody case, have you seen that agreement that the family has put together?
Not the full one, I just saw the latest order that was just signed,
And what is your understanding of what that one said?
that Andy Zick will have supervised visitation.
Okay, and you think that it should be unsupervised?
If there's substantial progress in that 30 days that I would like to see, there's that possibility, but
Do you think we should give him like 90 days and the other thing is, do you think the 90 days would, be enough to monitor mom that she's maintaining this progress that she's made? Or do you think 30 days is enough to do both of those?
I think 30 days would be enough for us to monitor it essentially, because to my knowledge, FRP would still be monitoring it, so
So FRP can stay open after we close case?
to my knowledge, yes.
Okay, I don't know. Oh, thank you. I have nothing further.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
I have one recross
Go
question.
ahead.
If the court were to actually close this court today, you don't have any belief that there'd be any reasonable risk of harm to these kids, true?
From what end?
What?
Or for anybody involved, from anyone?
No, my question to you is that if this court were to close this case today, is your belief that there'd be no reasonable risk of harm to these children, is that correct?
If Eric and Andy stay away from each other, I believe there would be no risk.
Nothing further.
No questions.
Thank you for your testimony. We return to your seat.
Thank you.
Anyone else you'd like us to hear from, Ms. Thomas?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. McFarland?
No, you are?
Mr. Frye?
No, you're on.
Ms. Heiss?
No witnesses, thank you.
All right. Mr. Tim Zick, I know sometimes you like to share updates. Did you want to say anything today?
I'm good.
Okay, well, thanks for coming. All right, comments in closing, Ms. Thomas?
Thank you, Judge. I'm not aware of what was entered into the custody order, but I trust this court to obviously make decisions regarding our case in conjunction with that one. They do know that FRP services for reunification are really helpful for families to maintain that stability. So we are going to ask that the children be reunified with Miss Allen. I think that there has already been that good progression towards going back home to her care by the children, and the family is very supportive of one another, which is also really nice to see. And then we are asking that the court order FRP services. I know that Ms. Bosher is asking for a 30-day review, and if the court deems that appropriate, we would very much like that. Just want to know from the last court order, part of the conditions on father's parenting time included that he continued to drug test and to enroll in said services with CMH. And so I believe that that is the reason the agency is still seeking for that supervised parenting time until there's that substantial progression, as Ms. Bosher indicated, and we would continue to support that position until the next review hearing. With that, I have nothing else. Thank you.
Mr. McFarland?
Well, Your Honor, I don't see where supervised parenting time is really an issue, because if this court closes the NA case, the abuse neglect case, the order signed by this court says my client's going to have supervised parenting time. So it's going to be supervised whether this case is open or not, Your Honor. As far as the risk of harm, if this case were closed today, not would something be helpful. I realize that FRP may be helpful, but there's no proof that my client has tried to see mother outside terms of the court order during this reporting period. No testimony to that. There's been no issues with drugs. He's been asked to do drug testing, but not been violated on probation. He's been appropriate. There's no belief that he's under the influence of any drugs or mental health issues, or else he wouldn't have had parenting time with these kids. So my client supports closing this case today and having the kids return to mother. If this case does remain open, now I see that the barrier they're going to say is that my client needs to have drug testing, but he's still on probation. There's not been an issue with drugs here in the reporting periods. So we would like that barrier to be removed, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Frye?
Thank you, Your Honor. Based on the testimony today, my client's progress so far in this case, I think reunification has been achieved with my client. I think the kids can be reunified with her at this point in time. She's successfully completed her case service plan. She's done everything that's been asked of her. She has had a gradual increase in parenting time. During the last reporting period, she has been having overnights. It does seem appropriate at this time that the kids could be returned to her. There's been no testimony of any risk that she poses to them, any harm that would come to them. In fact, the testimony seemed to indicate that there is none with her, and that she has, again, done everything asked of her, required of her, and successfully completed, all aspects of the case service plan and the orders of the court up until this point. There's a custody order in place in the custody case. In the order in that case is that Mr. Zick's parenting time would be supervised. I think school just ended, so the summer schedule would go into effect if this case was closed, which I think is a week on, week off schedule. Obviously, if the court kept this case open, you know, it might have a different schedule than that, but as far as my client is concerned, she's done everything expected of her. She has successfully completed the programming provided by the court and ordered by the court, and is ready to have her kids back. Thank you.
No closing, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, fine. Court finds all interested parties were given notice for purposes of today's review hearing, which was also a permanency planning hearing, but it's very clear that reunification is the appropriate goal. It continues to be the goal of the court. It's appropriate. Our caseworker has satisfied the inquiries that were requested of her from last time. Thank you, as well as continue to offer those reasonable efforts towards reunification. Thank you, it was a waste of his nice. You have satisfied your obligations as well to the kids in the case. I do also agree that it's appropriate to return the children to the primary care of their mother, given the progress that's been made in maintaining services to support many of the challenges that you had as far as your mental health and some of the other things. The challenges that confronted the two of you as a combined couple seem to have lifted, given the fact that you've gone your separate ways. So if it stays that way, then I think you're gonna be okay. But if it doesn't, then I don't want you to have to come back and see me. You're always gonna have access to the thing. I mean, it's been more than obvious the things that have brought you in here. So in the event that you decide to try to plan together, as they say sometimes, you're going to need to tackle those things. Or you're just gonna end up coming to see me again. And I don't think you want that. All right, so the children will be reunited with mom. I'm going to ask the parties to follow the schedule that was implemented in the custody case, which gives Mr. Zick every other weekend as supervised with his parents. My order will expand a little bit on that to allow supervised or unsupervised at the discretion of the agency, because for purposes of our court case, unless you can show me a significant or a risk of harm associated with unsupervised parenting time, then I have to honor a parent's right to see their child. Mr. Zick has not provided any reason to Orchard's Family Services throughout the course of his education there to cause the concerns that were associated with what was highlighted at the outset of his case. He has effectively also owned that he's learned a few things through there, which is great. So use those skills and keep your bad habits in check so that you're a good parent when you have the opportunity to do so. So that's going to be what the case looks like moving forward into the next review period. I'm going to give you a full review period just to make sure that there's nothing else that comes up that we need to know about or that needs to be supported further from the agency. And I'll see you back here August 20th at 2:30 p.m. I have the order for you. I'll have copies for you. And unless there's any questions, that's all for today.
Thank you, Judge.